ain't gonna never stop, niggas.
7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
What is the word, everybody? You already know who it is and what it is, man. It's your boy Mark D. You tuned in live on 7mileradio.com. And you see, we've had a plethora of special guests in the building, and today will be no different, man. We got my homie. Y'all probably remember his face. For those who've been following 7 Mile Radio for a minute, you know what I'm saying? This is my homie Lukata.
What up,
also
dope?
known as, should I say your old on there name? I know you're going to just Lukata right now. That's the author name.
We'll keep it at Lukata right now.
Okay, I was just about to say it. You called me. I was just about to throw it out there. That's my homie, though. You know what I'm saying? I know him. That's my homie. You know what I'm saying? Lukata, the author of Lukata, is in the building, man. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's happening, Mark, man? Long time, my dude, man.
Oh, man, you know what it is, man. You know what it is, man. Ain't nothing changed, man. So, yeah, man, we have this situation here that I had the honor of talking to you about while you were on the air with me a few months back. You said you were about to venture off into some new things and reinvent yourself.
Yes, sir.
And, as time revealed, you have done just that. We sit here now with the book that we spoke about.
Legendary Detroit Mentallity.
Detroit Mentality. Legendary. That's what it is, man. So let me know what will we be getting into when we check this book out. Let me know about the story.
Okay. Basically, Mark, Legendary Detroit Mentality is number one. It's a project that I've been working on for the last 7 years. It actually took me 7 years from the time I wrote the book until the time I published it. What the book is about, and this you may have a somewhat of an idea of this, Mark, personally. I don't know if you remember back in the days. Me and my brother, we had a record label called Legendary.
Oh yeah, Legendary Entertainment. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
back in the days. Okay, Tez Green.
Tez Green, exactly.
Yep. So, the book is actually based on how we started and founded that record label back in the 90s, and it goes back to my hip hop roots when I was actually a rap artist myself, and I was in a rap group called the Underground Bomb Squad.
Okay.
It was me and my boy Kev. At that time, he was known as the nappy-headed Nubian. Now he's known as Reborn. Okay. Then my boy Young Tone. At that time, I was known as Lukata. Also, that was my rap name.
All right.
Which is, we'll get off into that name later on. And basically, it's fictionalized, so it's loosely based on my story. So it's fictionalized. Okay. And it's about us starting the rap group and eventually starting this record label. In the book, it's $1 million record label.
Right.
Of course, I don't have no millions right now. If I did, then I'll be, you'll have $1 million in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? You're my main man, But throughout the book, I discuss some of the, violence and some of the challenges that us as Detroiters had went through, coming up. There's instances in the book where we battle rap at the infamous Shelter, the Hip Hop Shop.
Well-known venues in the city of Detroit.
Absolutely. That's the basis of it. It's more I could tell you about too. What else you want to know, Mark?
Well, I mean, you tell me that some of it is fiction.
Okay.
So if you would touch on the parts of the book that are actual fact
actual fact.
Yeah. Let us know a little bit about it that we can connect to and say, okay, well, this is really, or should we just leave that to the reader?
No,
to decipher.
I can get off into it. It's if I'm correct in my own book, I think I got about 20 something chapters in the book, so I don't have a problem explaining, divulging some of the chapters. There's instances in the book where I've connected with some local Detroit legends in my rise into hip hop, infamy back in the 90s. For instance, I dealt with Mossy Ski from Detroit Most Wanted. There was a point in the book where I talked about around the time back in the early 90s when Mossy Ski had, he ventured off into, a new group that he was putting together. And me and my boy Young Tone, we were going to be one of his new proteges, and we were going to be part of Detroit Most Wanted. There's some other instances, for instance, where I met Fast Freddy, one of Detroit's legendary players, and he took me under his wing and pretty much schooled me to the game. And when I say schooled me to the game, I don't necessarily mean like, on some pimp stuff or nothing like that, but just basically on how to carry myself and how to treat people, out here and how to make money, Ray O'Shea, just being a real Detroiter, all of us, some of these names that I'm naming, all of us should know who these cats are.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So, some of my dealings with Ray O'Shea, the king of cabarets out here, cabarets being one of the
staples of Detroit. Yeah.
Exactly. Nowhere else in the country do they do cabarets
like, especially like we do them here.
Right, exactly. So that's some of the instances that that I can refer to that are real instances in my book.
That's what's up, man. So like what motivated you? I guess I don't know, if you touched on that within what you spoke on earlier, but what motivated you to make this your actual shift in the gears to where this is going to be my rebranding. This is going to be how I'm reinventing myself with the book. What made you choose the outlet of literature to express your story?
Number one, I'm a word wizard. Okay, it's something that Run DMC DMC said one time in it's a rap. I forgot which rap it was, but he said, "I'm the wizard of the word. That's what you heard." And I always remember that because I've always been a word wizard. At one point I felt like I was a good speaker, and then I got a little bit older, and I said, you know what, I'm better at penning things down on paper than I am relaying it out my mouth. And so at one point back in the early 2000s, I decided to try to write my first book, which was the history of hip hop music. And I had did my research on the history of hip hop music, and I actually wrote about 100-page, pretty much documentary style book on the history of hip hop. But I scrapped it because I really didn't know the ins and outs of writing books. But that book was, it would have been deep and very acknowledgeable for a lot of people, because I went off into the roots of hip hop that a lot of some of these artists need to know now. Cool DJ Herc, the godfather of hip hop, Coca LaRock, the very first hip hop MC, Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash. We talking about cats, that had their roots in hip hop back in like the early 70s.
Right.
Okay. My next book that I attempted to write was what I call Lukataism. Okay, a play on my name, which once again we'll get off into the roots of my name. But Lukataism, it was a book that I had come up with because I had been reading so much at that time. So many different revolutionary style books, so many spiritual books and things like that. So I came up with this book to talk about what I call the 4 L's: language, land, lineage, and label. Something that we all need in order to develop a culture. Okay, so that's another thing we could get off into in a few also too.
Okay. Well, we touched on something a couple of times. We skipped over about your name and where that originated from. So touch on because you use it now as an author, or you also used it back in the day as a rap artist.
Absolutely.
So where did it even come from? Because it's been around for a while for a reason, apparently.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this. The only time I'm gonna say this is on this show. I'm gonna give my real name. Okay. Kamal Lukata. That's my name. Okay. Lukata is actually my middle name. Okay. Where that name comes from? Where I grew up on Mack and Van Dyke.
All right.
Okay. I grew up in that Kettering neighborhood, and I grew up near the inner city sub center. Alkebalan Village over on Harper and Van Dyke, Operation Get Down, all these different African-centered environments. I went to an African nursery school when I was like 3 years old. We learned our heritage at an early age. Okay, so all of my uncles were like black belts in karate. They were very into their African heritage and things like that. So I had an uncle. He took on the name Lukata, and when I was born, my mother said that she was going to name me Kamal Lukata. The Kamal is like it's a diverse name. It's an Arabic name. It's an African name, and it's really it's Turkish, Indian, things like that. And it means together man. It means whole. It means perfect. Okay, Lukata is an African name from the southern region of Africa, Zambia, Lusaka, Zambia, to be exact. Okay, I actually got family in Lusaka, Zambia. Okay, shout out to my Lukata family out in Lusaka, Zambia. Okay, and Lukata means inheritance. Okay, so it also means gifted. Okay, so that's where that name originates from, and I've been using that as my rap name. I've been using it, as my, my public name for years, and that's really who I am. That's I was born with that name.
Yeah, man, that's everything, that you speak on about yourself. You speak of it. It sounds honest. You know what I mean? You get it honest. Your real name, no gimmicks.
Absolutely.
As our homie Obi Trice likes to say, you know what I mean? So I'm interested to see what's going on in the book, man. We'll talk a little bit more about what's going on in the book, Legendary Detroit Mentality, when we get back. Y'all stay right there, man. Lukata, the artist, is in the building.
Warning. You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio.